Can you hear me? There it is. Let's make sure that's. My name is Brad Herman. I'm a former Jefferson County Sheriff's Deputy, the current head law enforcement chaplain at Jefferson County. I want to thank all the agencies who've traveled here this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Would love to acknowledge Deputy Zach Oliver, his wife, his unit, and his team. Thank you. Please pray with me. We praise you, God, for you are the giver of life and a magnificent creator, creating both man and beast. We praise you this morning, God, because you are the source of joy and peace in the midst of fear and pain. You are the source of hope in seasons of loss, and we lean on you, Lord, as our hearts hurt this morning. And we're grateful to you, God, for the gift of Graffit, a fearless dog performing perfectly and saving many deputies in his final act to the point of death on February 3rd, 2023. We lift up your name and your name alone and bring you glory today. Amen. I'd like to give credit to my fellow chaplain, Rabbi Jamie Arnold, who reminded me that the Hebrew word for dog is kalev. The name means faithfulness. It's akin to the name Caleb. Any Calebs in the house? Okay. If there is a Caleb here, your name means faithful, wholehearted, bold, brave, even devotion to God. Now, I bring that up because the Bible doesn't have a lot of stories about dogs, but it's got a fantastic story about Caleb, a story that's relevant to us today. The story of Caleb is a story of a faithful man of God, and it begins in the book of Numbers, chapter 13. After being delivered from the bondage in Egypt, almost 2.5 million Israelites were led by God to the border of Canaan, the land filled with milk and honey, a land of promise, promised to that very nation generations before. But the land was occupied, and the wise counsel of Israel and Moses sent a group of 12 men into the land to scout out the country. When those 12 men returned, 10 very fearful and cowardly men said, "We cannot take this land. It is occupied." They said, "There's giants in the land, unrighteous and wicked giants." But 2 of these men, Joshua and Caleb, they were fearless and they were obedient. In fact, in verse 30 of Numbers 13, Caleb stands in front of the assembly and says, he silences the people before Moses and says, "We should go up and take possession of this land, for we can certainly do it." He said, "Yes, we can defeat the wicked. We can defeat the unrighteous. We can defeat giants." Caleb was fearless. Caleb was obedient. Caleb responded to the call of his master, much like Graffit. Graffit was fearless. Graffit was the tip of the spear, and Graffit responded to the call of his master. These are qualities here that I know resonate with my brothers and sisters in law enforcement. Qualities that we cherish and aspire to be fearless, without fear, maybe better put, courageous, to act bravely in spite of fear, to do the right thing when others do not, to run towards the fight when everyone else runs away from it. Graffit charged into the darkness, ready to confront evil, and when he did, his sacrifice spared the lives of deputies. It gave them time to respond and confront evil. We're certain of this. These feelings resonate in the heart of our deputies, of the agents here, police officers, troopers, federal agents, and even soldiers. Thank you all for your service. You are the tip of the spear, called to confront the darkness and the evil that it conceals. And we are grateful for you. We're grateful for Graffit. and we want to bring God our gratefulness. It is good to know that the warrior's rewarded. It's good to know that the fearless experience freedom. It's good to know that those that pursue justice can grasp hope. For Caleb's story, it has a fantastic ending as well. See, the Israelites' fearfulness of the wicked giants, it was punished by 40 years of wandering until every last fearful soul perished in the desert. Only 2 men who trusted the Lord and believed what he said and were fearless entered the promised land. Those men were Joshua and Caleb. Only those men, only their sandals touched both the sand of beneath the parted Red Sea, as well as stepping across the threshold into the promised land. Only those men experienced being free. 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 That was a command that when I called and talked to Zach about Graffit, he had mentioned was one of several that Graffit responds to. Free. It releases Graffit from the tense focus of his master's next command and lets him be a dog. But I'm guessing even in a state of relaxation, Graffit's ears would be attentive to a call to action. Much like law enforcement, you exist in a state of calm, ready to respond to chaos when it calls. But now, for now, Graffit is free. It's a pleasant and comforting thought that Graffit is certainly free and at rest. And we're thankful for Graffit and for Deputy Oliver, for all of our K-9s and their handlers. But the challenge to you today is this. I encourage you to express that gratefulness, not only to Deputy Oliver, to our fellow K-9 officers, to brothers and sisters in uniform, to civil servants that you cross paths with, but I challenge you to tell God that you are thankful for these amazing creatures, how they protect us, how they entertain us, they please us, they comfort us, and they even defend us. We are so grateful, Lord, for he has made a fantastic and beautiful creature that the mere word dog just does not do justice. Tell him what he has done and that you are grateful for it. I'd like to welcome Deputy Oliver to share some things with us this morning, followed by Sheriff Marinelli.
Thank you, everyone. Hopefully you hear me just fine. Appreciate everyone being here, everyone's support, the community, the department, all my fellow officers, K-9 handlers. It's been amazing. Thank you. I've always dreamed of becoming a K-9 handler since childhood. Since joining the sheriff's office in 2014, I determined I would do everything I could to get in the K-9 unit. After doing 1 year in the jail, I was able to come out to the patrol division. After about a year of patrol experience, I was able to successfully test for a decoy position within the K-9 unit. The decoy program allowed me to truly understand what K-9 handlers do and what the dogs themselves were capable of. I knew from the first time I attended a K-9 training that this was my calling. I observed these handlers have such an unexplainable bond with their four-legged partners. It was far more than teaching a dog obedience. You can see the dogs had trust in their handlers, as did the handlers with their dogs. The handlers could read the behavior of their dogs to see if they sensed a threat nearby, had odor of a substance that they were trained to locate, or just tell if something was physically wrong with the dog. I would compare it to being able to read a child's facial expressions. Being a K-9 handler was more than just a position with the sheriff's office. It was a lifestyle. I was fortunate enough to help train the K-9s and learn how to conduct successful tracks, area searches, building searches, narcotic detection, and of course, physical apprehensions. I was also fortunate enough to work with and help train Graffit when he was with his previous handler, Kerry DiLorenzo. Kerry always told me that out of the 3 K-9s that he had as a handler, that Graffit was his best dog. He explained how Graffit's high drive kept him motivated to work and how Graffit would never give up on any task given to him. Graffit was well known for his excellence in obedience. Carrie always told me that obedience was the foundation of a good patrol canine. I always looked up to experienced handlers like Carrie because it was obvious they dedicated most of their careers to teaching these dogs. It was on July 2021 when my dream of becoming a canine handler finally came true. I was even more blessed because not only was I now a handler, but I was given Graffit, who was a top-tier dog. I think every canine handler wants to believe that they have the best canine on the team. However, I actually knew I had the best canine on the team. I knew this because before I even found out Graffit would someday be mine, I ranked him as the #1 dog on the team. I still remember the first day I got to take Graffit home. It was truly one of the best days of my life. Graffit and I had already been training together for 2 weeks, but this was when the bonding truly started. It was late at night, and we just completed a full day of training. Graffit and I played with his Kong in my backyard for at least 2 hours before I even brought him into the house for the first time. I just wanted to let that feeling that I finally got a canine to sink in, to know that I would never truly be alone on calls of service anymore, that I would always now have my partner always with me. I knew how big Graffit and I's future would be, even if Graffit had no idea yet. My wife and kids were instantly obsessed with Graffit, and Graffit loved every second of it. I honestly was a little worried about how Graffit would respond to being around my family. However, Graffit absolutely loved being the center of attention and treated my family as part of his pack. We would do family walks with Graffit almost every night, and Graffit would always lead the way. Graffit spent almost every hour of every day with me. We would be together from when we wake up to when we go to sleep. As a handler, you truly spend more hours with your canine than any other family member since they get to be around you at home and at work. Graffit would follow me around from room to room while at the house. People always asked me if Graffit would ever settle down. The answer was no. Graffit couldn't lay down for more than 30 seconds before getting up to roam around some more. I believe Graffit stayed so young and healthy at heart because he was always running around and taking his oversized Kong for laps around the house. My daughters both learned the importance of always walking along the walls so they don't get knocked over. We originally put in a baby gate by the staircase in attempt to keep Graffit on the main level of the house. However, there was no way of stopping that dog from jumping or climbing over any physical barrier that would prevent him from getting to us. My wife and kids were always very supportive of Graffit and I. They would often come to our canine demos to see Graffit in action, and the kids loved every minute of it. My wife would frequently do ride-alongs and would give Graffit his favorite scratches throughout the entire shift. Graffit was a very social dog who never had to be up in your face, but more just wanted to be around in the same room as you. Even when I bring him to work and let him run around loose at the station, he loved the attention all the deputies would give him. Every person that would walk into the room, Graffit would run towards, say hi for a brief second, and then run back. This would always give anyone who wasn't accustomed to Graffit's greetings a heart attack. Everyone in the department loved Graffit. Graffit was known for always having his Kong with him whenever he wasn't in the patrol car. His Kong never got old no matter how many hours he had it for. Everyone always asked me if I put peanut butter or something special in the Kong to make him enjoy it so much more. I always told him that Graffit loved the Kong just the way it was, and I didn't want to ever ruin that for him. If his Kong was ever thrown out of an airplane, I have no doubt in my mind that he would jump after it. No matter how boring or how bad the day was, giving Graffit his Kong would make him the happiest dog in the world. A really good friend of mine once told me that she envied how something so simple would give Graffit so much joy in life. She told me that she hoped one day that she would even find her Kong in life. Well, it wasn't until just recently that I realized Graffit was my Kong in life. I know how blessed I am to have Graffit as my partner. Graffit was so much more to me than a dog. He was my partner, my best friend, and most of all, family. I could never explain the feeling I have now when I walk into a room full of people, yet feel so alone without him behind me. He made the ultimate sacrifice that day. He took a bullet that wasn't meant for him, and I will never forget that. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming. The outpouring from our community has been amazing, and we appreciate each and every one of you that has reached out in so many ways. I'd like to give a special thank you to the West Flatirons Community Church for allowing us to have this tribute to Graffit today here at their church. I'm Reggie Marinelli, the Sheriff of Jefferson County. It has been a sad couple of weeks for our agency and our community. We are here today to honor a colleague, a family member, a friend, and a hero, or as I would call him, a FERDEP. K-9 Graffit began his career with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office on August 24th, 2015. He joined the Deputy Oliver family in July of 2021 as a seasoned K-9. Graffit was trained in narcotics and patrol functions. He provided unconditional service to the Sheriff's Office and our community. Graffit had a very successful career tracking and apprehending suspects when he was tasked to do so. He also worked on behalf of many other agencies when called upon to assist. This included the School of Mines and Golden Police Department on Monday, February 13th. That morning, Graffit did his job. He did what he loved to do, police work. And he did what he was trained to do, protect his partner, other deputies, officers on scene, and our community. Knowing what we know now, Graffit would do it all again. He would find the narcotics, he would track any dangerous suspect, and he would give his life for Deputy Oliver, the other deputies, other officers, and our community. This weekend, in preparing for today, I started looking online as to what I could possibly pull from what has happened to our agency. Everything I was trying to find came back to two words. And after a while, it made me think I need to really zero in on those two words. Unsung hero. Unsung heroes are praised for hard work, courage, or great achievements. Their qualities: empathy, compassion for others, heroic behavior. Those who rush in to help others in the face of danger and adversity, and they do so because they genuinely care about the safety and well-being of other people. Their conviction, selflessness. We all know that dogs have an unconditional love. K-9 dogs have an unconditional love for the job. They want to work. From a very small age, they're chosen. And they're chosen because of those attributes: empathy, compassion for others, heroic behavior, selflessness. That also describes a lot of people in this room today. And I am grateful for each and every one of you, for the jobs you do, the support you've given our agency, and for continuing on. I was given a poem by Deputy Oliver and his wife Alicia to read to you now. It was provided to us by the K-9s of Valor, and the author is unknown. This poem is called Rest Easy, K-9 Graffit. You brought me home one sunny day. With you for years I would surely stay. I met your pack, children and wife. I began to love my newfound life. I slept on your couch at the foot of your bed. You looked at me lovingly while petting my head. We trained for months and our bonding grew. We were both partners. We were buddies in blue. We did school demos and I never did wrong. Over all of the years, my love for you grew strong. How I loved to work, to stand up and bark in the back of our car from light until dark. We went call to call, having fun all the way. until the call came on that one fateful day. A man with a gun, the dispatcher did say. I jumped from my car when it pointed your way. Before leaving home, I was told, keep him safe by your wife. I knew at that moment, for you, I would give my life. The bullet struck hard, steady and true. The bullet struck me instead of striking you. When you go home tonight, tell your wife I did good, strong, tall, and proud on the ground that I stood. I'm dead and gone now. This much is true, but I've done my job well of protecting you. Thank you, loyal partner, faithful friend. You will be greatly missed. I want to end my talk this morning with a roll call of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office K-9s, our FERDEPs. These are our unsung heroes. K-9 Anton, K-9 Axel, K-9 Dexter, K-9 Ultimo, K-9 Lonnie, K-9 Tuco, K-9 Graffit. Please watch over your fellow K-9s. Keep them safe. Watch over their handlers and all of your fellow Jeffco deputies and staff. You are a hero to all of us and will never be forgotten. God bless.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong, and what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach, so remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Present our Dispatch to all units. Stand by for final call. Dispatch to K-9 Graffit. Dispatch to K-9 Graffit. All units. K-9 Graffit has answered the highest call. All units. K-9 Graffit has answered the final call. Graffit died a heroic death while trying to apprehend an armed gunman, saving law enforcement and civilian lives without hesitation. Graffit, you will be remembered for your dedicated service and love for your Kong. For 8 years, you made our community a better and safer place to live. You will be forever loved and missed. Committed to all, loyal to one. Rest easy, Graffit. We have watched from here.
Please join me in prayer. Mighty warrior are you, God, who dispatches your faithful servant who have taken the mantle to be called officers, to respond to evil and put it in its place. You've given us the blessing of these magnificent creatures to apprehend that which is evil. I pray, Lord God, you go before us today, these handlers, our fellow officers. Give us a discerning eye, a quick foot. Make evil slow and sluggish, that we might apprehend it and bring us home safely. And with that, I bless you. I pray the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen. Please stay in your seat or near your seat until we're finished and dismissed.